Hey guys, what's going on? Dace here, and oh man, we're just jumping right into episode 2 of Azure Striker Gunvolt 2, playing as Gunvolt himself. And oh man, this game is so good. So anyway, I'm really stoked to just be sharing the experience, sitting back and watching and chatting. So anyway, we are in the ice level essentially. There's some cool things about this one for sure. As you can see, I'm just in the mode of like, yeah, let's just like get through this quick, like whatever, like who cares how much damage we take, let's just smash our way. I seem to just be like smashing into everybody though. So there are these devices here which make it so that you don't slip on the ice, so that can be really useful. Now, there is a challenge where it's like, oh, if you don't use them, then you like get rewarded, and so I've of course done that, and it's not like they're mandatory. They do help in some situations with like some of the slopes, but yeah, if you're struggling, then they're kind of just there. Or like for me, it was my first time playing this, so I was like, yeah, you know what, I'm just gonna make use of this and enjoy them for what they are. But man, you do not slip when you've got those on. They are fantastic. So anyway, how is everyone doing? How is everyone liking this method of kind of just, yeah, taking a back seat with the gaming vids and, yeah, just, yeah, it's just a different approach for me. As I've said in some of the other episodes, like, I'm just loving this. So here we actually have Copen. So this is the guy you play as if you're playing as the alternate character. So yeah, it's good times for sure. Man, they're both awesome characters though, that is for sure. So the ice level, I wouldn't say like it does anything that's super different, or just like it's, yeah, like yeah, I'm not like, I wouldn't say it's just a rip-off of like anything else ice wise, but like, yeah, we've definitely had ice levels like Chill Penguin, for example, or just you name it. So in some way, like, it's a lot of the same stuff in that sense, but yeah, it's still refreshing. I think I said in one of the other episodes, it's like no matter how many times you go through these similar settings in different Mega Man style games, it's always neat just to see the layout, how they play, the enemies that are thrown into the mix, like just different things like that. And each one is always going to do it a little differently. I think they could have maybe done more in terms of like secret passages and stuff like that. They do have one in this level, but yeah, I think it would have just been cool to see some of the classic, like, ooh, this section's like blocked off by huge chunks of ice. But at the same time, since we've seen that in countless games, we don't necessarily need to see it here. And I'm gonna swig some water because my throat is getting dry. Man, that was some alarm, jeez. But yeah, I can honestly say, like, out of the Mega Man style games that I've enjoyed on the Switch, so far anyway, and there might even be some that I'm not aware of at this point, but I want to look into it now that I'm just on this Gunvolt kick. But I can say that Gunvolt is just easily the best, because like there's stuff like Metagal and Metaloid Origin. Those are cool, and I enjoy them, but this is just taking it to a whole other level, like, and it's no surprise too, like with the the team behind this game. Like, it's just, everything is top notch. I love it. It's so good. I love the fact that you can just hover down slowly with your flash field. So here we are. That went pretty quick. You dare to challenge me? He's got some sweet attacks, that's for sure. And keep in mind, at the time of this recording, like, I had only done these dudes like once before, so it's not like I am a master of, yeah, like these guys in terms of just avoiding everything that they do. But to be honest, they're not difficult to do that with. I've done like plenty of that at this point. Like since the recording anyway, with just the sheer amount of times I've gone up against these guys and studied their moves and stuff like that. It's a lot of fun though, like every boss plays so differently and it's just action-packed every step of the way and just so fluid and everything controls perfectly. It is just so good. That guy needs to chill out, I think. Clear. And where are we going? Oh yeah, sweet, we're heading here already. Jeez, it's crazy. So this is a really, really short level. It's kind of just like a, not a side quest, but just a, one of those like, oh, and now you do something just to like break up the main stuff. Something short anyway. And just look at the colors in the background. Like, it's just so cool. Just a gorgeous level. This guy's got some really cool attacks in the works. There's actually a scene when you're playing as Copen. There's a scene where you're on a motorbike that's being driven by someone else. You're kind of just like standing shooting at this guy as he skates along the highway, and it's just really interesting. I didn't think I'd see something like that in this game, but it just reminds me of the other Mega Man games where like you're on like a just a speed device of some sort and you're just flying across water or just down a highway, just ripping holes into people. Just going nuts. Poetry Slam. It's a cool attack for sure. But as long as you take it out quick, then you're not just going to be taking extra damaggio. Oh man. Luxcalibur to the face does it every time. And that's the end of that level. Short and sweet. The way I like my Poetry Slam. Okay, what do we got next? The garden. Man, the gardens are awesome. We got 3 gardens ahead of us, folks. This episode we'll be doing numbers 1 and 2, and then the garden 3 will be in the final video for this run. They're all sitting about like 20-ish minutes or something like that. And I figured that would be nice instead of dipping into the 50-minute region for some of this stuff. Just make it a little more manageable for peeps. Now there's one challenge in this level for not hitting the spikes, so I've definitely done that one at this point. I've done most of the challenges. Man, the tunes in this game too. I've also now unlocked speedrun mode, and there was another mode that I unlocked today, finally, on the title screen. It was just like question marks for the longest time, but I think there's another mode as well. I don't remember what it is. Unless it's just the speed running and I'm just imagining a second option. Man, every time I see myself using a save state or a checkpoint, it's just like, oh, that is such a crime. I can do not do that anymore. Actually, there is... I'm not sure if Gunvolt can synthesize it, but I know for Copen, specifically, he can synth something that cancels out or like makes all the checkpoints vanish. So I would imagine for people who specifically are just going for like big scores or whatever, they might want to do... I like, yeah, they could either just learn the level and know when to just avoid when they're going at like crazy speeds, because like one thing I found was like sometimes even though I know when it's coming up, I would still sometimes just dash right into it because I'm just going so fast. But that's just because I haven't intentionally practiced it in that sense. So for some people, they might want to utilize that item if they're speedrunning Copen, because that way they're just not going to be something you run into and thus reduce your score. But man, the action does not stop. Nice jump right through those dudes. Man, all the little details, like just the like the check mark that we just saw floating there, the glowing green, just the fact that it had like a tail on the top and a tail on the bottom, just like doing whatever animation, just little things like that just adds so much more depth to a game, because like they could have done anything else that was just essentially more lackluster compared to what they did do. So like I'm saying, this game is just quality all the way around. Gotta be really careful, because the guy that I just took out, he has like these golden rings that he shoots out, and if one of them hits you, you just drop your toast. If you're over a pit, you're just going down. It blows big donkey chunks. Get the medal. Go. And another one. Normally they're not so close to each other. They're typically spread out and like hidden a little more, but not in that situation anyway. They probably just felt like, yeah, we don't have to hide every single one all over the place. There are some levels that, take a little more searching. Some that are like, they're not hard to find, but if you're just ripping through the level, then you'll surely miss it, because you're going so fast that you're not even paying attention to the area that they're hidden in, or whatever the case is. But there are a select few, like a handful or whatever, that do require special access, either by using like a weapon of Copen's or whatever. Oh man, I'm so excited to show you guys Copen. He's sweet. Oh, I love this enemy. She's so cool. Thought she had me there, but nope. I'm really curious to see how Luminous Avengers plays out, like if they have just the Copen storyline, or if at the end they'll throw in like, oh, you get to play as Gunvolt too, or because I don't, like, it was ages ago now, or it felt like ages ago when I sampled that for like my first impressions or whatever, so I don't actually recall if you have both characters from the start. I kind of think it's just Copen, but and maybe because of that it's more, yeah, in-depth game. Maybe they have more levels, maybe not, who knows, but oh, we got sucked down. Astrosphere. Oh, looks like you just got taken out. Man, the books. The books, the ancient secrets, and the eternal wisdom. Okay. Oh man, the garden too. So interestingly enough, if you drop down that pit that we just passed, there's a door that's locked. It's like a gate, like the one we just went through, except it has red lights and you can't get through. And when I first started to explore that, I was like, oh man, there must be something so cool down there, but I eventually just looked it up, and it's just, if you play as Copen, then that's the path you take, and the way we went as Gunvolt would be blocked to Copen, so it's not actually like a, ooh, this big secret item or anything like that. But it's neat that they do have like just an alternate route in this level. Oh man, this if. It's so unrealistic. Just thinking about that guy that we were shooting over his head, that drone. Like the fact that like Gunvolt can't just aim down to shoot, like he's just shooting straight ahead, like he can't, like, I don't get it, like he's just powerless to just aim at this goddamn robot. This tripped me up the first time that I came here. I do know the pattern now, but the first time I ever did this, it was just like, oh, like, you can only tag like 3 things, but like, I'm pretty sure it's 3. But like, oh, you just gotta like do it all within the time of your energy bar thing, or your flash field, I mean. So we're kind of just experimenting. I don't think this goes on for... Yeah, I think I got it, and then, yeah, I dropped down here, and then I just book it through, because screw fiddling around with that kind of nonsense. Oh, and I just love the way those lock as well. It's so cool. And I like these rooms too. They, to be honest, they really don't give you any sort of challenge. Like, there's not a single thing going on in any of these challenge rooms where, well, yeah, they're not actually challenge rooms in the sense of, like, they contribute towards the challenge list. I just mean, like, ooh, you gotta take out these guys before you get to move out. I love the flames those dudes have. They're stacked. But yeah, I think they probably could have done, even though I love the way it is, like, it doesn't need to be anything different, but I think it would have been sweet at the same time if they maybe just did something a little more pressuring. And then maybe like a checkpoint when you get outside after surviving like just the crazy chaos. But essentially all these are is just dudes come down, you just take them out in like 2 seconds, and then you're good to go. There's nothing going on here that's gonna, like, yeah, put you into a sorry state, that is for sure. Unless you're just very, very inexperienced or just very beginner, and in that situation that's totally understandable. But it's pretty easy stuff. The enemies are just very basic to deal with. And because they don't come out, I think part of it too is because, like, they're not gonna like do much if they're not even on screen. So I think if they had it so that, like, one guy was just launching a huge laser beam down the screen and like other dudes were like targeting you with other weapons, and like there was just more going on, I think it would just be that much more like keeping you active and just like knowing your stuff and knowing what to do and avoiding just the insanity. I think that would have been cool too. And like in most Mega Man or Mega Man style games, like, it's pretty rare that I actually use other gun types. Like, I do have other stuff to use, but I always gravitate towards just the base gun. I just love doing that. Now there is a section in my Copen run where I actually do showcase each of the weapons that you get after killing the bosses, because they're pretty sweet and I didn't want to leave that out. But at the same time, it's rare that I ever have a reason to use those. So that's something to look forward to either way. And the flash field is such a cool mechanic. I love tagging and then flash. Zapping these dudes. And I love these bosses too, like just this huge guy that's just being controlled by this manipulator. And just the sheer size of this golem guy, just so cool. These days I don't even bother going after the big guy anymore, I just go straight for the little dude, because he's the guy that matters. The other guy can, yeah, pretty much just be ignored. Yeah, like, sure, he does his stuff, but like, he'll just be done faster if you're going for the little dude. But there are some challenges in relation to how you go about this fight. One of them is take out the tiny dude while the big guy is like currently stunned or whatever, so stuff like that's neat to tackle. I love that they included challenges to just polish off and all that kind of stuff. But the fun is not over yet, my friends. We are just getting into this level. There's one more little section. And it's a sweet, sweet beast. I don't think I could skip this part. But man, look at the machinery this dude has. Well, like, what? So first you take out the massive shield he's got. And then you're just like the color of those shots They look fantastic. It's easy enough to just lure the shots like up and away. I don't always do it, but sometimes. And I'm way more experienced. Like I'm looking at the way I'm doing things right now, and it's just like, oh man. Big blast. Yikes. I think unless there is a way and I just somehow didn't notice it the whole time, I think it would have been sweet if you could level up your gun damage so that it wasn't strictly a tag device the whole game. Like, sure, yeah, like it does damage, but not a lot, as I've expressed in previous episodes. But I think it would have been cool. Like, it doesn't have to become anything crazy, but I think it would have been really cool if you get like maybe even like a 5 or a 10 or 15% damage boost or something like that. Because like, man, the amount I love to mash with this basic gun in this game, oh, I think that like almost deserves some additional damage just to see the HP of a boss melt away that much faster. Anyway, you guys, that's gonna wrap up this episode. Yeah, thanks so much for being here. That kind of snuck up on me, but yeah, oh, I'm loving it. And we have one more for the Gunvolt run through number 2. So you guys have a stellar one. Let me know what you think down below, and we will see you next time.